Are you finding all of the possible clues to your ancestors in that death certificate? Not really sure? Well, you are in luck because today I am going to be sharing with you 5 types of genealogical information that you can find in your ancestors' death certificate. Hi, I'm Lisa Listen with Are You My Cousin, and I help researchers lose the overwhelm in your genealogy research and start finding your ancestor. Now, before we get started, be sure and hit the little subscribe button down at the bottom so that you don't miss any of the videos here on the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. Okay, let's get started and talk about that, your ancestor's death certificate. One of the first things, obviously, that you will find on your ancestor's death certificate is personal information about the deceased. The name, oftentimes a full name. You might not have seen that before, but you can find often the full name of the ancestor. You often find where they last lived, so the last place that they resided, so you can find an address there. Age, birth date. Sometimes it's spelled out, sometimes it's just implied, and you have to do a little math to figure that out. So their occupation, whether they're married, their marital status. So you find a lot about that very personal type of information for your ancestor. The second thing that you'll find is information on how your ancestor died, or the death information. And what you want to look for there is the cause of the death. Now, it may be a medical cause, and you may notice as you start to look at more and more of the death certificates for your ancestors that you start to see a pattern. So you might see some health history start to emerge there. But you also may find that your ancestor died as a result of an accident or possibly even a crime. If that is so, then that is your clue to go look for newspaper articles on maybe perhaps that accident or that crime. Check the newspaper to see if they reported anything on that. Also, you can check the court records if there was a crime involved and see if there was more information there. So that cause of death can lead you to look for new clues, other records. Very important thing not to miss, and not to miss what the cause of death is telling you. You can also find a bit about the health information, as I mentioned before. Keep a track of what your ancestors died of when you are researching and looking at multiple different death certificates. Keep a track of what they died of and see, are you looking at a history of cancer in the family, a history of heart problems in the family? It can be really enlightening to see that type of information. It will not necessarily tell you more about your ancestors and the next generation, but it can absolutely give you some information on the family line and help to tell the story as you go about telling your ancestor story. You will also find information usually on your ancestor's occupation. Now, this can be important in the sense that as you go about finding your ancestor in other records, maybe you recognize them, if they have a common name, by the fact of their occupation. So if you've been tracking a guy and you've got his death certificate and he was a farmer, and you find that he was in farming in other records, and then you happen to find a gentleman by the same name and they are a physician, well, you probably have a clue there that you're looking at 2 different men. So knowing that occupation can be very important. And sometimes that death certificate may be the only place that you do find an occupation for your ancestor. So be sure and pay attention to that. Now, another really helpful piece of information that you can find on this death certificate is information on the extended family. That would be the parents of the deceased, the mother's name, the father's name, and the place of birth. Now, that mother's name is very important because usually they will give a maiden name. Now, oftentimes this is incomplete information, or it may not even be filled out at all, which can be very frustrating for us as genealogy researchers, I know. But what has happened is that the person giving the information for that death certificate to be filled out simply did not know who the parents were. So keep that in mind. Now, another very important piece of information you do not want to overlook is the informant. Check who was providing the information for the death certificate to be filled out. And this is a very important person because typically it's going to be it could potentially be a child, it could be a close relative, it could be a friend, could be a parent, you never know, but check who that is because the person providing the information had some connection with the family, and you want to make sure you are very clear on who that person is and what their relationship to the family is. Because one, that could help you find other clues to other family members, but also, two, it helps you understand how close they were to the family and how accurate the information they provided is. Are they someone who had firsthand knowledge, or are they, or is somebody pulling information off a hospital record type thing, which may not be quite as complete, somebody who didn't know the deceased as well. So make sure you know who that is. There you have it, guys. Spend a little extra time analyzing that death certificate for your ancestor. Make sure you're getting all the possible genealogical clues out of that record. And to learn to see a little bit more about this or learn more about death certificates, be sure and click the link in the description below, and that will take you to the post on Are You My Cousin website that will give you even more examples. All right, guys, have a great day. Before you go, hit that little subscribe button down in the bottom right-hand corner so that you will be notified when new videos are posted here on the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. Have a great day, guys.